Welcome aboard. Most people think that fully inflatable boats are cheap, slow, not very durable, and overall kind of a joke. I thought the exact same thing. In the tender food pyramid, the inflatable boat, it was at the bottom. For the longest time, I wouldn't even consider one. If it didn't have a hard bottom, I just was not interested. But that all changed, and honestly, this boat right here, well, that's the reason why. Now, I've already done a full video on this Laguna 333 catamaran. So if you want a full breakdown on this specific boat, you can go ahead and check that out on my channel. Because today's not just about one boat, it's about inflatable boats as a whole, using this Laguna as our real world example. And while making my argument, I'm finally gonna show you guys how to actually set one of these things up. Here's where inflatables start to make a lot of sense: space. This entire boat packs down into something that you can realistically store, move, and deal with. No trailers, no slips, no headache. That alone opens us up to a completely different type of boater. For example, I usually work on larger boats with larger tenders, and today I'm in the parking lot of a popular marina in Mexico, and this thing, well, it fits in my trunk. So let's get into it. No fluff, no skipping steps. This is exactly how setting up one of these inflatable boats works. Bag open, hole laid out. Right now, it's basically just a shell. First step, we start with the outer pontoons, and this part matters. You don't want to fully inflate them just yet. Just enough air to give the boat structure and shape. Think of it like framing. You want it to hold its form, but still flexible. You may notice that I'm using an electric pump. I would highly recommend one if you inflate or deflate your boat a lot. However, hand and foot pumps work just fine too. Now, before we go any further, see what I did there? You want to make sure you put the floor in. And this is one of the biggest differences from what I used to think inflatable boats were. This high pressure floor is what changed my opinion completely, but you want to make sure it's all tucked in so that it gives its boat its strength and structure. You see, it's rigid and it's flat. Not like one of those old school, soft, saggy, angled floors that make it feel like you're standing on top of a pool toy. Which is also the reason why we didn't have these tubes inflated all the way quite yet, because we would have had a really bad time trying to fit that in there. So, we finish inflating everything, we bring the tubes up to full pressure, and we have a boat that's officially come to life. Taking some floppy PVC and turning it into a usable boat, all thanks to this high pressure floor. Gone are the days where you have to decide between aluminum slotted floors, angled fiberglass, or buying an entire mini center console rib. The pontoons are sturdy, the PVC is durable, and with the right air pressure, you have a real usable platform. Something that I thought was always lacking in inflatable boats in the past. I'll be honest, it's not zero effort. It's not just plugging in an inflatable pump and then stepping away, even though that's kind of what I did. But once you understand the order, pontoons first, floor second, and then finish inflating, it's doable with any sort of inflation system. And if you have a Laguna, well then you get to install the bimini and relax in the shade. Now, I didn't go through all this trouble of getting an electric pump just so that I would then have to exert energy and row around. Nope, instead, I went ahead and got myself an E-Propulsion E-Light. This is an electric outboard. And this little innovation here, combined with the inflatable pressurized floor, is why I think that it is inflatable boats' time to thrive. You see, all I have to do is take this transom bracket here, put it over the stern, center it, and tighten a couple screws. Then I just pop this outboard right there, and we are off and running. Or, you know, we would be off and running if I didn't leave the outboard's electronic kill switch at home in the United States. Fortunately for us, my Laguna tender comes with 2 oars as standard. However, if I was smart enough to bring my kill switch, the reason why I think outboards changed the game for inflatable boats is because you don't need to carry on gasoline anymore or worry about where you put your engine when you're not using it. If it's gonna leak oil, probably doesn't use coolant, but either way, without having to worry about storing all that stuff, boating becomes a lot more fun and way more easy. No more stinky compartments full of fumes, no more lugging around heavy outboards. Instead, you just attach your electric one and away you go. Or in my case, use it as a rudder Anyways, just like that, we have a fully functioning boat. Now, I usually use it as a tender, but you could take it to the lake, use it to get to your favorite surf spot, or in my case today, it could be your Baja Adventure apparatus. Now, I cover a lot of this vessel's performance in my other video, and I will be making a review of this outboard as well. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that content, because believe it or not, my argument of why inflatable boats are the future has already been made. They're easy to set up and actually function as boats now. The trouble is, the tender world has always been about compromise. Stability versus weight, ease of setup versus a fully outfitted second vessel, and most importantly, space. Whether that's compartment space or deck space or garage space. But I'm happy to say that those days are officially behind us with the adaptation of the electric outboard and the inflatable pressured floor. You no longer have to decide between hauling around an entire pit crew's worth of equipment just for an inflatable tender or spending your kid's new car money on a mini center console. With today's inflatables, you have the option of folding up a real boat that you can confidently use and store wherever you like. So unless you've got 80 feet of waterline and a swim step you don't want to access, dump the davit, put away the crane, and get yourself an inflatable boat. It's the full-time solution without the full-time commitment. Smooth sailing.